Welcome back, everybody. Back with a video. Today, we're talking about an arena tier list. Now, this is going to be strictly for the 2025-1 season for arena. Now, again, I will update it later on. I could do this monthly, but it really just depends on how good the character is. How many characters we do get within the month and how good they are really to really affect the meta. So I'm either gonna be doing this every single arena season, or I'm gonna be doing this every 2 months or so. Not too sure yet because I would like to do every month, but it really just depends how good some characters we get really are in that month to really justify making a whole video for it, right? Just to really update the tier list. But we shall see. We shall see. But other than that, though, let's get right into it. So, right off the bat, we have S tier, A tier, B tier, and C tier. Everything else down here in the D tier is basically don't really use them at all. That they don't really provide that much or nothing to arena. Now you may use some of these units in here, but going off of by usage in terms of me, Lucira, Derpus, my guild, other guilds that are pushing for top 30 or top 100 or whatever. It's very unlikely some of these characters are used. But if you do use some of them, they're probably going to be down here, right? But I'm looking at this mainly because this is more of a usage, right? Like I said, it's from me, Lucira, and Derpus, and some friends in the guild, and some from Veritas in terms of what they do use as well. So, let's get right into it. Now, S tier, right off the bat, Frieda. Frieda is literally the main important unit. If I had a double S tier, she'll be up there because she is the key component to a lot of these comps, especially since Belian is running around still, because Belian has no souls. You can't get no souls with Belian on the team, and basically Frieda nullifies that and giving you a free soul burn. So basically, Frieda, in my opinion, would be the only character getting her own tier, which would be double SS in my honest opinion, because every comp pretty much needs her. Not really every comp, but more than likely, you kind of need her. All right, next is going to be Zio. Zio is an enabler as well. Very, very good right now in this current meta. Zio is a must-have in my honest opinion. He's just extremely good because a lot of comps, especially with Harsetti running around, Zio gets the first turn regardless. Unless a Harsetti is like 320. And then you get outspeeded by a Harsetti. That's different. But that's like the 1%, right? Very rare do you see the 1%, right? Surely, right? But yeah, Zio Enabler Braceria is pretty much used in the majority of the comps in Arena right now. Her having Soul Burn, Ignore ER, Defense Break, and Unbuffable. And they can't revive on her passive. And she has hit chance. She is just such a good character. Like, she's really, really good. Like, it's absolutely insane how broken she is. I'm pretty sure back then she did not have Ignore ER. And that's all they really need to give her was Ignore ER. Once they gave her that, that's it. She was just a powerhouse ever since they buffed her. Because I'm pretty sure, 100% sure, she was not like that on release. I'm very confident she was not like that. Next is going to be Luna. Luna, she's just broken. If there's a politics there and you have the speed gear for it, again, this is like if you're really fast or not. Because more than likely, if you have a Luna and you have around like have a Luna 315, you can outspeed almost every single politics in Legend right now. Currently, again, this is for Arena, not RTA. This is for Arena. Luna's absolutely broken. Just Soul Burn her S3, and that's it. You have BBK. Braceria, Frieda. Boom, there you go. Game's over. They can't do anything when you have Luna on your team because you get rid of, you unbuffable them, you seal them, so they have no passives or anything. So she's just so broken. BBK, again, powerhouse unit. She is the main DPS up there in terms of S tier. Her and Ludwig are the only DPS characters up here that you will see. But BBK is absolutely broken. Ever since they gave her that EE and basically a little buff. She's been absolutely disgusting, right? She has two turns. Immortal, basically. She has a soul burn guaranteed on her S3 that just allows them not to counterattack when you hit them. Absolutely broken, right? Very, very good. She loses health. The more health she loses, the more damage she does. Again, this character is just absolutely crazy. She's just so good, especially when it comes to Arena. Next, Mo Senya, again, another broken unit. Again, all these characters in S tier are absolutely disgusting. They're absolutely disgusting. Amosenia, very, very good for defense. Very, very good for offense. This unit is all around very, very good. If you have her for defense, it's pretty damn good. I like her a lot. I wish I had her. For offense, in terms of what you really use it with, it will be a Dilibet, BBK, Arbiter Vildred, and Amosenia comp. Again, a very, very good comp. I can't show you that comp unless I go on one of my friends' accounts to show you because I do not have Amosenia. so I can't really showcase the comp, right? But do keep in mind she is very, very insane, and the amount of damage she does is absolutely insane as well. So she's just a broken unit. Ilanov, very, very good when it comes to offense and defense. Again, very, very broken character. And in terms of broken characters, I think she's just absolutely insane for defense. If we're talking defense specifically, she is one of the best characters to have for defense. Now, you may think Harsetti, some people may say Harsetti's broken. No, 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 no. Harsetti is not a must-have. I would definitely say that right now. Harsetti is not a must-have. Ilanov is a must-have character for defense. If you care specifically for defense, Ilanov is a must-have unit. Again, she's just absolutely broken when it comes to defense. Now, in terms of offense, yet again, very, very broken because you do have the pen resist, which is absolutely insane, especially versus some LRKs. Mort going around right now. It's mainly those two characters. Ilanov just guarantees you survive, and she applies injuries. She's a DPSer. She cleanses, she gives more buff whenever you do a Popper S3. She gives everyone a defense buff. It's just absolutely insane. This character is a must-have character for defense if you do care for that specifically. Hence why, if you've been around the game, right? You know Snitchu, insane defense. Ilanov makes it much, much worse. It's much harder to fight him. But again, Ilanov is absolutely cracked in terms of the best unit for Arena defense. It is Ilanov. She is 100% a guaranteed must-have in my opinion. Harsetti is whatever. Literally, people think Harsetti is a problem. She's really not a problem. It's literally Ilanov. Ilanov is such a pain in the ass. Next, Emma Politics. Emma Politics is very, very good. Again, she is mainly a defense unit. Now, for her specifically, she is mainly there to counter the young Senya. She's there to counter the Flan. Anybody with focus, fighting spirit and all that. She's just there for all that good stuff. She pushes back. She gives the whole team rage. She double attacks. She is just insane unit. Now, in terms of a defense, again, I think Politics is way better than Harsetti. I do not recommend running Harsetti and Politics. I've never been a fan of that defense. If you run both of them, because if you run both of them, the other two units have to be absolutely insane to carry. And sometimes you do that, and the other two units, while it looks good on paper, it's really not that good. It may look good. You're like, oh, this looks insane. But then it's really not because it's so easy to play around, right? But again, I highly recommend Politics is way, way better than Harsetti if you are curious about defense. Politics is way better. The stuff she could do is absolutely insane. While Harsetti is just completely countered by Young Senya. Harsetti pops that straight, and that's it. Young Senya just... It's basically Harsetti. Basically, Harsetti, everything she did was pointless. Thanks to Young Senya, right? But Politics, oof. Politics is, oof, she's just... disgusting. Ludwig, top tier DPS, must have DPS in my honest opinion when it comes to pushing for frames and all that good stuff. He's very, very good. The more souls you have, the more sobers he can do. 20% CR every time a sober does happen, so he will more than likely guarantee get his turn. Excuse me. Again, he's very, very good. Must have unit. I do highly recommend you have him. If you do have him, I highly recommend you build him. Zio, Frida, absolutely insane. That's a lot of souls already. And then we have Meteoric, Kowarvik, Hand Guy, whichever you want to call him. Very, very good. Top tier unit. He's mainly there for slow comping because he does apply immunity, attack buff, full cleanse. You could do some DPS on him if you want as well. He provides a shield. Again, he's just an all-around best cleanser in the game still to this day. Very, very good. Now, next, we're going to A tier. A tier is very good, but not really must-haves in my honest opinion. Rowana, I think she's pretty good. I use her quite a bit. Either you do use her for her sober S1, or you use her for her S3 pushback. Only time I really do use her is mainly for those two reasons. But overall, I think she is a must-have still. Not really that much. I've been using her less and less, but I think she's still very, very good nonetheless. Dilibet, same thing I said earlier. Dilibet, Arbiter Vildred, BBK, and Emosenia is an absolutely broken comp. If you are able to pull that comp off, I don't have Emosenia, so I can't really do it. Again, very, very good. Arbiter Vildred, I mean, come on. No one really stops revives right now. No one is running Berseria on defense. So Arbiter Vildred coming back to life, if he's able to get one S3 off, he's just insane. And then you kill him, you come back again, another S3, and then you're pretty much dead. Harsetti, like I said earlier, Harsetti is kind of falling off in the meta. She's just there for defense. But if you see a Harsetti, you more than likely could just Young Senya. People do run Harsetti and Apologist, so you can't Young Senya. But I'm going to be honest, those defenses just don't really cut it, in my opinion. But that's just me. But again, Harsetti is down here in A3. I think she's still good, but I really don't think she's a must-have at all. Again, this tier list is by usage. Keep in mind, this is all by usage in terms of how much we all use them, right? Next is Beeline. Beeline is used quite often. Again, you probably still see her right now in the top 100, maybe like 70% of the ladder still runner because of her ignoring souls. Basically can't get any souls when she's on the battlefield. She does crazy damage if you pair her with 3F. She's just really good all around. You could do a prot set, you could do a speed set, you could do injury set. This unit is very, very good. DDR, a very core unit. He enables a lot of stuff. He's just, in terms of a slope comp, DDR is a must-have for slope comping, 100%. Flan is paired very, very well with DDR, but her usage is going lower and lower by as the meta goes on, especially with politics running around. Flan's usage is just going lower and lower and lower, I would say that. Abyssal Fiend, very, very good. She's still good to this day, surprisingly, because of her fighting spirit and all that, but in terms of defenses, she is there quite often, but not as much as Flan. But she's mainly a defense unit. She's not really used for offense because there's quite a bit of fun stuff you could do with Yufine in terms of builds and all that. Or she's really fun in terms of defense. But besides defense, she's really not used much. Same thing with Wash. She's just a defense unit. I've seen some people use her for offense, but more than likely you see her on defense. Watch a Shuri. Again, used quite a bit, lose a lot. Again, this is all about usage. He is mainly used, for me personally, when it comes to the Lunar, Watcher, Vildred, and Frida comp. That's the only time I use them, but I use that comp quite a lot now. Tywin, very good for defense. Vildred, same situation with Watcher Shuri. Veronica, very, very good. Again, I would add her in B tier, but Derpus told me to move her A tier, because the amount of times he does use her is quite a lot more than what I do use her for. She is mainly used versus the Mort, Harsetti, BBK, Young Senya comp, but she is still very, very good elsewhere when there's a BBK in a defense. She's still very, very good. So, keep that in mind. TML, she is a bridge for the Vildred. Now, this is the same comp. It would be Emma Luna, TML, Vildred, and Frida. Again, TML is the bridge. It will push up Vildred. TML S3 the Hua to guarantee kill the Hua, and then Vildred takes a turn. Again, that's how she's basically used, and she's used quite a bit. Next, we have Oxlox. Oxlox is used by 20%, 30% last week by Derpus. Now, I have yet to use it. I will test it out. I already know how it is, but I do need to make a video on it. But he used quite a bit. Very, very good to push up this Zeo. Again, this is all for, not for Zeo. It is all for Ludwig, because Ludwig is obviously the main DPS dealer. So do keep that in mind. This will be basically a Zeo, Frida, Oxlot, and Ludwig. Again, keep in mind, that is a comp. Literally, max souls right there for the Ludwig. So he can pretty much clean up Judge Kisei. Judge Kisei, very, very good. Especially you keep seeing those Politis, Mort, Young Senya, Harsetti comps. Those comps are still running around quite a bit, surprisingly. But Judge Kisei is very, very good, still nonetheless. LRK, defense unit. Mort, defense unit / offense unit. But, again, I don't have Emo Senya. So Mort, Emo Senya, Ruel, and I think +1. I forgot what the other one is. But those three are absolutely disgusting when it comes to offense as well. Albedo, she is the only other good non-light tank that can be used when it comes to autoing comps. Albedo's pretty good. Keep that in mind. She is pretty good when it comes to autoing. Again, she's literally the only tank, non-light tank, that could be used. That's really good for autoing. Seaside Saria, again, she's very good, but very, very... I don't use her that much, but she's definitely more used in the characters in B tier. True, Urban Shadow Shu, again, she is mainly used for Snitchu defenses, which is the LRK, Ruel, Tywin, and Beeline defenses. Besides that, though, don't really use her that much. Pavel, same situation, I only mainly use him versus the BBK, Mort, Harsetti, Young Senya comps, but he's still used quite a bit because those comps are still running around. And then Carmen is obviously, if you don't have Ilanov, Carmen is the best in slot for a tank, but it is going lower and lower and lower in terms, I will say, because she's good. She is good, but the stuff that's coming out is making her harder and harder to really use because she gets blown up. Where Ilanov has that whole thing where everyone can survive and take basically no damage, right? Next is going to be B tier. Now, these lower two tiers, B and C tier, are basically units that are very, very niche and very, very used less likely, right? B tier, Abigail, Elvira, Ruel. We do use them quite a bit, of course. Elvira's mainly for the Fine Spirit comps. Abigail's mainly to keep Ludwig alive. Ruel's mainly our defense unit. Now, you could use her in offense, like I did say, with Emo Senya, Mort, and Well, Alencia, very used often. Elena, again, the one time I do use Elena is with Seaside Asteria, Zio, and Rowana. Very, very niche. Not really niche, but let's just say I use that comp maybe like 10, 15% of my hits. Maybe even less than that. Sinful Angelica, W Silk, Lucier does use them too a lot. This Sid right here, I forgot his name. This Sid, Wandering Prince Sid, he used to be fantastic last season with the fast Harsetti, Flan, and Berseria, but that has kind of faded out, and we got basically the meta we currently do have, but he's still good because he is a detonator, plants bomb, that he's very, very good. I like him. But he's just fallen off quite a bit. Blue Flan, you can still use her if you have the speed gear. Flitica, same thing, can still use her if you have the speed gear. The slow players are using a lot of Mika and Christie, keep that in mind. They are using them quite a bit into a lot of defenses, and of course, if you see a Mika, you more than likely see Christie. Next, Fire Lilius. Fire Lilius is actually not too shabby when it comes to defense. They can catch you off guard depending what the defense is, and it's actually pretty good. Now, Emma Para is here because I think she's going to be okay when it comes to defense. She's not out yet. She will be coming out within the next couple of days, but for my personal opinion, I think she will be okay. I don't think she's going to be anything good, not broken or anything, but I do think she is just going to be an okay unit. Moana, they're for dual attacks, Yuha, and Sidom. These characters, again, are very, very... The ones near the end, I use very, very rarely. But the ones up here are used quite more often, right? But not more often than any of these characters. And then C tier, very, very, very niche. Shout tier is basically there for flans. Aramitha is there for Snitchu clones, or that's really about it. Solitaria is there for the flans as well. Spez is paired with DDR. Again, we were in the mud last season when Harsetti first released. Had to use Spez, but he's still usable with DDR. And then Blue says, some people actually quite use him, surprisingly. But again, very, very, very niche. MOK is mainly for MO Luna defenses. Politica is okay. The Shuri is okay as well. He needs a push. If he had a push, he'll be much higher. But since he does not have a push on him, it's kind of whatever. DJB, this DJB is good if you already know what you're fighting against. Like, if you already remember that person's points and you remember how their defense works, he is very, very good. But if you don't know, just DJB is really not that good. And Angler Ghost, he is used, again, barely, but just enough. Just enough. But other than that, though, everyone else down here, again, not really worth mentioning. They may be used by y'all, but they're really not worth mentioning compared to some of these other characters that are used quite a bit. Again, this tier list is all about you. Just keep that in mind. It does come from me, Lucira, and Derpus, and some other friends as well in my guild, YGTY, and then Veritas. So do keep that in mind. Again, I've been pushing for top 3 frames. Me, Lucira. Lucira has about 7. This is going to be his 7th frame. This is going to be my 5th frame. So do keep that in mind. We are pretty in deep when it comes to Arena, right? And this will be Derpus' 2nd season. But other than that, though, if you have any other questions, let me know down below. I will gladly reply. Other than that, though, I will see you guys later on. Peace out.